Good afternoon and welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you here. While Diana's making her way up here, we've got a couple announcements. The first is I'm on vacation this week and I came here, so that's how much I love you guys, right? Does that say how little I have going on in my life or how much I love you guys? I'm not sure. We've got a foundation board meeting this evening. If you're on the foundation board, please make plans to attend. I'd like to thank the charitable committee for their hard work last week. It's an important committee. It's a challenging committee to serve on. Thank you for your hard work. If you'd like to serve on a committee, see me. That's the way you get to really get to know some great people with caring hearts, get to know your fellow Kiwanians. Speaking of caring hearts, again, a warm Kiwanis welcome, and thank you to our newest members, Guy Breeding and Andy Miner. Let's hear it for Guy and Andy again. Welcome to the Kiwanis family. We've got two Manatee High Key Club. Chris Gary, he's the president of Manatee High Key Club, and Kieran Gremley, the past president. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. This group saw a need in our community, recognized it was not an all-access handicap playground. They raised the funds, over $35,000. They got the equipment. Within 1 year, it got done. Let's hear it for Manatee High Key Club. And they want more money, so they've come to our meeting to ask for more. Chris?
Okay. First thing, this week is Key Club week, so today's theme is kudos to the key players. So we'd like to issue you all a thank you for all you do to support our club, and we would not be able to do this service we do in the community without all that you've done for us. So thank you, and as part of that, we'd like to show our appreciation by giving Judge Nicholas our iconic Manatee High School Key Club shirt and a thank you card, so thank you. And then the second thing is the money. This month we've raised over $4,000 for the Eliminate Project through Trick or Treat for UNICEF and various different service drives and things like that. So we are going to pass the plate because we want you guys to be a part of this and give you an opportunity to give back and provide tetanus vaccinations to those in need in other countries. So we have this jar and we're going to be passing around, so if you can make a contribution to that, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, Diane, you've got some guests here? Big crowd.
Yes. First of all, I want to welcome back Larry Bussell. Gosh, we missed you so much. Yeah, we missed you. When I call your name, would you please stand? And let's give them a warm Kiwanis welcome. We have, as our speaker today, Coach John Booth from Manatee High School. We also have the athletic director for Manatee High School, a woman, Danielle LaPointe. Danielle? And Southeast got by me without registering. What is your name? Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm John Ward, football coach, Southeast High School.
All right.
I have my principal, Mr. Jim Foley, here, my athletic director, Mr. Daniel Bradshaw.
Okay, thank you. Larry Hibbs has as his guest Misty Servia, who is running for the school board. Misty? Former member. We also have as our guest Jackie Dzelski from the Chamber, Vice President. And President Bob Bartz from the Chamber has his lovely wife, Vicki Bartz. Vicki. Representing South Florida Museum is Tiffany Barakis. Welcome, welcome. Ed Nicholas has several guests with us. We all know the judge, Gilbert Smith. Gilbert? And his lovely wife, Anita. Anita? Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you too. Bonnie Rad has as her guest the executive director of the Manatee Education Foundation, Mary Glass. Representing the Pittsburgh Pirates is Rochelle Madrigal. Excuse me. Trevor's here too. Yeah. Beth Trent could not be here next week, which is our Veterans Day. So she went ahead and brought her father, who is a veteran, Arthur Grannon. Well, welcome, Arthur. We're so glad to have you. And Annette Cordelia brought us her guest, Pam Craig with the Manatee County Schools. Welcome. And of course, our favorite key clubbers, the president, Chris Gary, and the former vice president, Kieran Grumley. So we're so glad you're here today. Welcome to all our guests, and please come back and visit us real soon.
Thank you, Diana. We got an awesome program today. We got a few things I want to get to first. Next week, as you know, is our Veterans Day program. We've been talking a lot about it. Our speaker, one of our speakers is Colonel Ben, is it Nisley? Nisley. He was shot down over Vietnam, severely wounded, and he and his crew were actually declared missing in action in 1968. They were rescued in a daring and heroic raid by the 101st Airborne. Another one of our special guests next week spent 7 years in captivity as a POW. It's going to be a great program. Jerry's been working very, very hard at it. Thank you, Jerry, for putting together such an awesome program. If you know a veteran, please invite them. Feel free, Beth's dad, to come back again next week. We'd love to have you. It may be a long program, so if you need to rush out, that's fine, but make plans to be here. It's got a full program. I'd like to fill the room. Lunch, of course, is on us. If you've got a father, a father-in-law, a neighbor, please invite them. Just let Dave Grantham know how many you're bringing. The spouses of the veterans are invited as well, and they're free, of course, so we'd like to fill the room. As you know, as I've mentioned, we lose over 500 World War II veterans every day, and the Vietnam veterans never got the thank that they deserve. So we'd like to have a great program next week. Consider inviting a veteran. Consider actually bringing the veteran as well. That would be a great gift to them. So awesome program next week. Again, let Dave know. The following week is Farm City Week, always one of my favorite programs, not simply because we get to go home with some great local produce, but Brenda puts together an awesome program. And finally, it's a long way off, but our Christmas party is Tuesday, January. That'd be a lousy Christmas party, wouldn't it? December 8th. There's no meeting that day, December 8th. It is a Tuesday. It's going to be a great party. It's the same entertainer as our birthday party. He's very, very good. Before I turn things over to our speakers, I'd like to take a moment to thank a few people who are special friends of the Bradenton Kiwanis Club. Brenda Rogers is going to tell us a little bit about the Hixson Award, the highest award given by Kiwanis. Brenda, let us know just how prestigious this award is.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really happy to be here today. We do have two very prestigious awards that are presented to club members and to other individuals, citizens who have made significant contributions in our community and to our club. The first one that I want to talk about is the Ralph Davis Award. It's one of the highest honors that's awarded through the Florida District of Kiwanis and the Florida District of Kiwanis Foundation. It's named for a distinguished Kiwanian who served the district in a leadership role in the history of our organization. Recipients are recognized by the medallion with the very fashionable orange ribbon. It wasn't fashionable in 1983 when it was first presented, but other than it's got its day. But you'll recognize recipients by the ribbon medallion around our necks. And in our club, recipients have received this award for both leadership and service contributions to our club. This year, we present one Ralph Davis Award, and that's to our club president, Ed Nicholas. I know I don't have to remind you of the outstanding contributions this man has given to our club, our community as a Kiwanian, as a judge, and as a citizen. So we recognize Judge Nicholas first with his Ralph Davis Award. Surprise. The next award that we'll be presenting today, we have several of these, and Ed will be coming in and making the announcement of those recipients. But the George F. Hixson Award was established in 1983. It's named for the first international president of Kiwanis. Our club uses this award to recognize individuals who have contributed long-term commitments of service, leadership, and impact to our club and community. Recipients of this award are recognized by the blue ribbon medallion that's worn around their necks or the membership pin that's circled by the blue and white wreath. And you'll see those on some of our members. Our president now will come and tell you who this year's recipients are. Thank you, Ed.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Brenda. That was, I'm not often speechless. That caught me by surprise. Our first Hixson Award winner has been a member of the Bradenton Kiwanis Club since 1983. That's 32 years. He's served on various committees, Foundation, Charitable, Better Manatee Day. Indeed, he's the quintessential Kiwanian with a caring heart and a desire to help those in need. I can't imagine our club without him. I can't imagine Manatee County without him. He's been at the heart of all that is good in Manatee County for over 33 years. Please join me in giving a warm Kiwanis thank you and congratulations to our first Hixson Award winner, Bob Bartz. I think we surprised him. Our next Hixson Award winner has been a member of our club since 2003. Although he isn't able to always come to our many meetings, he's got a busy schedule. He and his organization are vital to the work that we do as a club. I could go on and on about the amazing things he and his organization do for us and for our community, particularly Bradenton's children. Suffice it to say that he and his organization simply never say no. Suffice it to say that our club would not be the same without him and his organization. Suffice it to say that Manatee County would not be the same without him and his organization. Please join me in giving a warm Kiwanis thank you and congratulations to our next Hixson Award winner, Trevor Gooby. Trevor? Our next Hixson Award winner is not a member of our club, but he has been a friend of Kiwanis, our club, for many, many years. He has been a child advocate for many, many years. He created an amazing documentary about our nearly 100-year history. He's writing a book about our nearly 100-year history. He is an amazing friend to our club. Like our other Hixson Award winners, I cannot imagine Manatee County without him. Please join me in giving a warm Kiwanis thank you and congratulations to our next Hixson Award winner, my friend, Kiwanis' friend, Gilbert Smith. All right, we got one more. I think this one's also a surprise. Our final Hixson Award winner is one of those behind-the-scenes people who gets things done, supports and enhances almost every nonprofit in our community, and is always a pleasure to work with. Like Trevor Gooby, he never says no. Like our other award winners, he has made Manatee County an infinitely better place to live. He's an incredible friend to Kiwanis. He's an incredible asset to Manatee County. Please join me in giving a warm Kiwanis thank you and congratulations to our final Hixson Award winner, Charles Clapsaddle. hear it once again for our Hixson Award winners. A great, great group. All right. Thank you for this. I'll treasure it forever. All right, our program today. The big game is actually this week. They're actually kind of getting along here, probably for the last time. We're thrilled to have the football coaches for Manatee and Southeast High School here, John Warren and John Booth. Let's hear it for our speakers, coaches Warren and Booth. Them.
All right, I've been chosen to go first, but I appreciate the honor to come here and speak with you guys. You know, as a coaching unit, we're all kind of close, and for Manatee and Southeast to be able to come up here and talk about our teams and talk about our seasons and talk about our great schools is something special for us. So we appreciate the invite, and hopefully we can keep this thing going. But you know, for us, what a difference a year makes. You know, last year, I can't tell you how many times I heard, how are you going to fill those shoes? How are you going to fill those shoes? Well, you know, the truth is, nobody can fill those shoes. And 20 years from now, they'll still be, how are you going to fill Coach Meckley's shoes? Well, they're never going to get filled. The thing that we're doing is taking Coach Meckley's run, and we're extending it, and we're living with it, and we're utilizing it to the best of our abilities. And, you know, last year, anytime you have transition, and Coach Booth and I can both testify to this because both of us had to go through the same thing, and replacing icons in Manatee County. And, you know, I'm sure he'll tell you the same thing. We're not ever trying to replace those guys. We're here to represent the schools and represent their legacy and to build on that legacy. And, you know, for us, last year was, you know, it was trying. It was very trying at times. And, you know, to get to come up here last year and talk with Coach and talk with you guys, that was a reward. And I'm going to go ahead and put the blame on you guys for not inviting us every week because I almost beat him. But, you know, this year's a little bit different, and it takes a little bit of time to build some things, and it takes a little bit of time to change some things, even though we don't want to change a whole lot because what you don't want to change what's not broken. So for us, any new face or any new thing that happens is why are we doing this, Coach? Why are we doing that? Well, it takes a little bit of time to smooth those things over, and you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. And to the credit to our kids, you know, last year we came up short on the end of the stick quite a bit, but they never quit fighting, they never quit going, and you know, we were in almost every one of those games. We just couldn't plug through in the end, and to their credit, they never quit. Well, here comes the off season, and you know, you hear the rumors. Oh, I'm leaving here. I'm leaving there. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to go to Manatee. I'm going to Palmetto. And those kids, you know what happened in spring? They're still there, and they're still there, and they buy into the system, and they buy into the work ethic, and they buy into what it takes to make a true champion. And then the summer comes, and we have almost 40 freshmen start coming in the summertime, and we have almost 40 to 50 varsity guys who are there in summertime, and those things are what builds a champion. And the things that Manatee does, the things that Palmetto does, the things that Braden River does, those are the things that we know we have to do. It's just you got to get the kids to move along in that same direction. And finally they start doing that. And, you know, we win our spring game, and that certainly puts things in the right direction. Well, we come out in the Fall Classic, and we beat a Lato team from Hillsboro. And, you know, for us, is it a big victory? No, not really. It doesn't even count. But it's a big victory for emotional spirit and getting things going in the right direction. And so what was a problem last year was finishing the deal. Now becomes, well, we're really 2-0 in games that don't count. So let's take what we're doing in those games and let's move forward in the season. So then we, you know, as the season starts out, Coach Bradshaw and I were putting together a schedule last year, and we want to give our kids a chance to kind of play the Manatee teams, but yet broaden their scope to realize it's okay to get out of Manatee County. So we go to a Nature Coast team that's 5A, and we're thinking, well, you know, I'd much rather play Nature Coast than I would a gigantic Lakewood Ranch and face the size. Well, little did we know we're going up to face a Division I running back and a team that rushes, you know, their running back now has 2,400 yards rushing and is number 1 in the state of Florida. So we took on a monster that night and again, came up short, but we didn't know how good they were. We didn't know. But again, the kids learned that lesson of let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. And then we've got the two in-town rivals. We had Palmetto and Braden River right out the gate. So, you know, I think we know how good Braden River is. Well, we were up 3-0 with about a minute left in the third quarter. So our kids, we know we've got some talent, and we know we can do some things, that just takes a little bit of time to get those things going in the right direction. And we came up short. We started out 0-3, and then fortunes, started going our favor. And in the last 6 games, we've won 5 out of those last 6. When we start playing schools of 5A nature, and we're 4-1 in our district, and, all the time they say, well, how'd you do it? What changed? Nothing really changed. They start believing. They start working together as a team. They start doing the things that these other schools are doing, and then results start happening. And for us, they want to say that I changed. Well, I'm still the same guy I was last year. I've got a really, really, really good staff working for me. I've got some awesome assistant coaches, just like Coach Booth has, just like everybody else around here has. But everybody's moving in the same direction. And, my thanks goes to these 2 guys, because we were able to bring in a lot of good coaches with some of the teaching openings that we had, and that enabled us to kind of make this run that we're having now. And so we were able to clinch last week with a win at Booker. Emotions are high, and the kids' spirits are high, and now that brings us to this game. And, this week didn't need any kind of more emotional value. It's already at its peak, but now we've got the playoffs next week. So, the end of this year has been just something that you can't write in a book, and that's what makes our job in football so special is, you never know week from week what's going to happen. And for us, we get to play Manatee at Manatee. It'll be my first game there. I can't wait for the experience. I can't wait to run out the tunnel and let the kids enjoy that same type of experience with me. I know I've got a good opponent, Manatee, on the other side. We've got a great head coach here, and we're just excited. We're ready to go. But for us, one good story I'll say about this man right here next to me is, him and I stick with him. He talks to me quite a bit. We go through some of the same battles, and it hasn't been easy. And I'm not speaking on him on this, but I know my end hasn't been easy, and I can't only imagine what stuff that he's gone through. But every time I call him, every time I text him, he's quick to text back. And one example of that is we thought we were going to have to play a 3-way tie this past Monday, or last night actually, because we were going to be a 3-way tie for our district. Well, one team got upset, and we ended up finishing runner-up, which for us, it was a win-lose. We didn't get a shot to win the district, but we did tie, so we did advance for the playoffs, which, we're not saying no to that by any means. We're excited. We're happy. But we were almost in panic mode, and we said, well, what are we going to do? Because the state makes us play with a certain type of football. We hadn't ordered those yet, and we didn't know we were going to have to use them for Monday. So we text Coach Booth and say, Coach, you got any footballs we can borrow that, it's a Spalding football? And he goes, oh, absolutely. So my athletic director drives over there and brings it back. And he goes, here's your footballs, Coach. And we look at them and they say, doggone Manatee Hurricanes on them. So, we would have used them. Don't get me wrong. We would have used them. But, that's the kind of guy Coach Booth is. He's top-notch, and I'm honored and proud to be up here with him, sharing the table with him, and however long our careers are in Manatee County, I don't know, but, I give my thanks to him, and not every coach would have said yes there, but a guy like him, he will. So I'll turn the mic over to Coach Booth.
Well, thank you, John, and thank you guys for having us. This is quite an honor. We had a great time last year speaking at this event, and it certainly is exciting to be back. And I appreciate your kind words. And I said it last year, and I've kind of said it through anytime anybody asks me about Coach Warren and Southeast, and they're in good hands with this guy. It didn't take me long to see that the things that he's implementing within not only X's and O's, but just how he interacts with his kids. It's something that it's noticeable. And I said it wouldn't take long. And the thing that I've kept when we talk is continue to do what you're doing, because it works and it's good. And for me, it was no surprise to see what they've done this season, and I'm excited for them to be back into the postseason. But it wasn't a surprise because I knew that what he's going to do was going to be successful. So congratulations to you guys, and much success next week in the postseason. Now, that's going to be the only and last thing nice that I say until at least till Saturday. But But no, we're excited about the game this week. It's amazing how fast this season has gone. We're already in week 10 and looking forward to postseason. But we're certainly excited about the rivalry that we have with Southeast, and it's been something that I grew up a part of, and certainly excited to be a part of it again this year. And Coach Warren alluded to it last year. It was an exciting game, and one that showcased a lot of firepower, and I think really put their quarterback on the map of what his ability and what he could do in the pass game. And we're expecting nothing less than that this Friday. They've got a great running back, and I want to say he's leading the county and rushing, and so they're doing a nice job. So it'll be a good test for us, and one that's going to prepare us for next week and as we make our playoff run. But it's been a great season for us at Manatee. We've had some adversity, which I'm sure most are aware of. But what's been special for me, and what's been nice with working with these kids is how they've responded. And we talk about that a lot with our kids. It's the old adage of not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up. And that's something that has been a very big teaching tool for us. As our kids have moved along through this season, we've seen a lot of tough and difficult things, and a lot of things that haven't been necessarily reported about, but has been internally things that personally with what our kids have been dealt with. And I think we've sat down a lot as a staff and said, man, it's just you would have never thought that sometimes kids go through some of the difficult things and difficulties that they are going through, things that I've never had to deal with, things that a lot of our other coaches have never had to deal with, but you see how they rise above that. And that's been special for me. We've got a great group of kids that care about one another, that care about Manatee and the community, and putting a good foot forward. And we're seeing that transition out onto the football field, the way they come to practice every day, the way they prepare for Friday nights, and not only that, but what they're doing in the classroom. I've gotten several emails from teachers of what kids are doing, how they're doing so well in class and their behavior. Multiple kids over a 4.0 weighted GPA, and it's just a neat group. And so I'm excited about what we've been able to accomplish this year. Locked up a district championship a couple weeks ago, which makes 7 in a row for us and our program, and something that we're extremely proud about. And a lot of hard work goes into that, and it's something that has kind of started all the way back in last January and February, and these kids have been working all year long. So we're excited about it and seeing a lot of good things, and hopefully we can continue to keep it rolling. We're seeing some good things offensively, what we're doing, and averaging over 400 yards of total offense. Just hit 40 points per game offensively, and defensively we're doing a lot of good things. We switched up what we're doing defensively in our front, and it's been successful, in terms of what we're allowing points per game. So all in all, it's been a good season for us, and excited about Friday night to kind of end the regular season and then start our new season with playoffs starting in a couple weeks. So thank you again for having us out, and certainly looking forward to visiting with some of you guys as we end this afternoon.
Tell us a little bit about it's not a mentorship program but like a leadership program you've got.
Yeah, we've one of our assistant coaches, Dennis Stollard, has been a longtime assistant at Manatee. In fact, was there when I played, and he started about 6 years ago or so a character development program that stemmed from Jim Tressel, the former Ohio State Buckeyes head coach. It stemmed from a book that he had written a while back, and what we've done is we've given each player a playbook, so to speak, that has different articles, stories, things written about former players, community members, some things nationally that all deal with a specific character word: integrity, attitude, overcoming adversity, things of that nature. And the hope is, as we go through their career, we hand them that playbook at the end of their year as a senior gift, that when they leave, they'll be able to look back on some of those things that maybe help them, remind them of something that, that is going to allow them to overcome something or get through something that's tough that we all, face in life. And we'll bring guest speakers in and talk to the kids. And a lot of times they'll ask, what do you want me to say? Well, if you have 10 minutes to talk to a high school kid of all the things that you've learned in your life, what would you tell them? And then you kind of give them free reign of what to talk about. And so that's how we've kind of structured our character development. But something that we did this off season was how can we enhance that? A lot of times we talk about overcoming adversity, but in a practical sense, let's teach these kids to not put themselves in an adverse situation or making choices where you have to rise above some of the adversity. And so we've done a lot of things now, kind of shifted gears to more of a leadership mentoring with these kids, and that's been great, because a lot of times as coaches we say, we need leaders. We need these kids to step up and be leaders. But as a 15-year-old kid, and I know for a lot of adults, we don't know, what is leadership? What does it look like? What is it? What is it? What is it not? And so we've got 3 gentlemen that help us and kind of team up with our coaching staff to run our character development along with myself and Coach Stollard as well. But it's turned into almost kind of a leadership development that we're hoping that we'll teach these kids to make wise choices, and oftentimes the difficult one and the unpopular one, to where they're as they move forward in life and they're faced with a lot of difficult decisions, that they're going to make the right ones.
Do we have any other questions? We've got time for a few questions.
I know you're talking about adversity. Could you tell us about the adversity of getting the Jumbotron up at the end of the field?
Well, with that, it's that's been a project and a half, to say the least. But we're excited about it. The whole process with that is we wanted to develop something to enhance our game day environment and create an environment that is exciting for our fans and our kids and gives them something. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say a major thank you to Dr. Green and the school board and our administration and our booster club to help put that thing together. But it's been
It's always good to thank your boss.
and it's heartfelt. But it's been fun kind of seeing the process of how all of that. I'm just a dumb football coach. I don't know all the ins and outs of how everything works and everything, but I do know this. It's brought a level of excitement with our kids, our school, and something that we're looking forward to using and having our school use for the years to come.
It's a different Friday night.
I think so, and it's I'm not necessarily caught up in a lot of it. I ask my wife every game, the last 2 games that we've had it up, how'd everything go, and she kind of tells me, fills me in on everything, and my kids love it. They got the dance cam with the whip and the nay-nay, and my 3-year-old loves that song, so he's loving it too.
You think that's adversity? Try to explain to your kids why you don't have one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just wondering if we can get rivalry started out with you guys arm wrestling on the table.
I got a bum shoulder.
Can you talk a little bit about just kind of who you got coming out of the program and kind of their futures at the next level? You got anybody
As far as seniors that we have now, we don't have anybody that's committed yet, but we've got some kids that we're hopeful that come February on signing day that they'll be signing, and hopefully even after that. But Cavius Price is probably our most prolific player, just a dynamic slot receiver for us. Reggie Carter has been one that's really emerged. Tariq Milton, who going into the season was going to be our number one receiver, he rolled his ankle pretty good against Largo in our kickoff classic, so he ended up missing our game against Hoover and the first 2 or 3 games, and that allowed Reggie to really kind of step into that role, and so he'll be one that'll be a good player for us. But Lorenz Allen, our running back, I think is going to get some good looks. Matt Kissel, our middle linebacker, Paul Mobley, Trayvon Rumpf, who's been a 3-year starter for us as well. So, the tough thing with is we've got a lot of kids that, are undersized, so to speak, for some of these major universities. I think about, a kid that's 6'1", 275. How is that undersized? But when you kind of look into some of your major BCS programs, it is a little bit small. So, as we kind of work through our spring season and see how the recruiting develops and going into this fall, we've had kids that have drawn a lot of interest. Then becomes the test for them is where's your GPA at, and ACT and SAT test scores, and that's something that I think I know I'm not going to speak for Coach Warren, but for us, where you get a lot of kids that they think it's just what they do on the football field, and they don't realize, well, no, your discipline record plays a big role into it. Your test score is critical for that, and I think back a few years ago, I had a kid that had a 1,300 or a 1,200 and some change on the SAT, and wasn't even accepted into South Florida as a regular student. He ended up walking on with them as an offensive lineman, and they ended up getting him in with that. But I think, man, at 1,200, and you're still not able to get into a state school, that's, the competition is so high. And now with the senior class that it is now, they've even raised the standards even higher. To your GPA now has to be a 2.3 core. So our weight training class and our chorus class and all those things don't count toward the core. They've got to have a 2.3 with your math, English, science, history, and things like that. And so the standards have raised, and so that's what we're working with our kids to make sure that they hit, and our counselors to make sure that they get all the requirements necessary so they have the fighting chance that they can do. I know it's kind of a long-winded answer, so I apologize for that, and I'll let Coach Warren to.
We're pretty much in the same kind of situation. When a recruiter steps on your campus, they'll say, I love your seniors, but what kind of freshmen do you have? What kind of sophomore do you have? We don't have any scholarships left for these senior kids, but when it becomes that, you really have to put your arms around these young cats to let them understand how important every move they make is right now, because we're no different than any other school. We have kids that don't take class serious, and for those kids to understand what they're doing as a 14, 15-year-old freshman and how that impacts their recruiting process, that there's a gigantic gap there that we're trying to close. And, coaches, leadership classes and tutorship classes that we offer and every other school offers, all of those things have to be implemented for these young guys to understand how critical it is to really take life serious as a 14-year-old kid when you're walking through those halls for the first time. And, We've got kids walking through that campus right now who aren't even eligible to play football, but when you look at them, they absolutely pass the window test. They absolutely look like the next it out of Manatee County. But when you don't take grades serious and you don't do those type of things, not only are you jeopardizing yourself, you're jeopardizing your chance to move on forward after high school. So, we've got 3 really, really good seniors that have been overlooked. Last year's record didn't help us any. We've got a 6'4", 315, 310-pound offensive tackle who can move a mountain. And this kid I'm extremely proud of. He was a little bit of a knucklehead when he was a sophomore and he was a freshman. He's always had size, so you knew he had something to work with. But, again, for him, class wasn't that important. Wasn't that, football's it. Football's it. I want to go home and play football and then going home. And somewhere class got left in between. But he has completely changed his discipline record, his demeanor, his way he treats school. And the last couple of years, he's completely bought back in, and he's set himself up where he can get recruited. I don't know where that's going to be because, a lot of the D1 schools are full right now. So we're going to try to get him the best look we possibly can. We have a real nice, another offensive lineman, defensive lineman named Blake Green. He's about 6'1", 275, but like Coach said, that's not big enough to play D1 O-line, and it's kind of on the shorter end to play D-line and D1 too. So our late bloomers, they are world beaters for us, but, man, there's teams out there who are loaded with these kind of guys, and college is really a dogfight. It's how does your resume look? What have you done in the classroom? What have you done outside the classroom? What have you done on the football field? How big are you? And the first thing that they want to see is 6'4", 280, 290, 300 pounds, especially for these offensive linemen. And we have a all-world, in my opinion, running back, and he's been with us for he started last year for me, but like Coach mentioned earlier, we did throw the ball a lot last year, and he was kind of left as a receiver, but we knew he was talented. So this year he's 90% of our offense, and you didn't hear that, Coach. We're not going to give him the ball at all on Friday. All right, but he is leading the county in rushing, and he's up in the top 20 in the state in rushing, and he's almost 20 touchdowns this year. And again, he's 5'10", he's about 175 pounds, and for a running back, that's it's hard to do. But we'll never tell the kid that. We'll tell the kid, keep fighting, keep working, keep going, keep doing your thing, and someone's going to get a look at you. He runs probably a 4.5 40, and for a running back, that's not terrible, but it's not a 4.4, it's not a 4.3. So, it's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. There's still someone who's going to take a chance on these guys because they can play. And what can we do as coaches we're those kids' biggest advocate. We go to bat for these kids. We tell the recruiter exactly what they've done for us and how they work hard for us and what we can expect them to do the next 4 years. But, I know Coach is talented in the lower levels. I know we're pretty talented in the lower levels. So I would expect recruiting to pick up as we move forward. But this year, I think we got 2 or 3 kids who will go on to play.
Let's hear it for Coach Warren and Coach Bruce. As you know, it's a tradition here at the Bradenton Kiwanis Club to thank our speakers, to show a little bit of appreciation. Kiwanis Golden Rule, help you measure the success of your programs, the success of your teams. Who are we rooting for this week? Go Canes, go! Go Canes. I know. May the best team win. Thanks again. Let's hear it for Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. There you go.
Appreciate it.
Both programs had big shoes to fill, but I think both programs are in very, very good hands. Thank you for being here. Always a great program. Thank you to all our guests for being here. Feel free to come back anytime. It's great to have you. Thank you for this much appreciated Davis Award. It really was a surprise, and I will cherish it forever. Congratulations to our Hixson Award winners, Bob Bartz, Trevor Gooby, Honorable Gilbert Smith, and Charles Clapsaddle. I think we got a few surprises here this afternoon. Well done. Next week is Veterans Day. Please invite a vet. Spouses are indeed welcome. Email Dave if you've with a head count. Thank you, Jerry, for putting together an awesome program. Farm City Week the following week. Thank you, Brenda, for putting that together. It's going to be a great program. Thank you again for all you do. We'll see you next Tuesday.